Hello everyone. For today's presentation, we are going to tackle about the topic research in child and adolescent development. Teacher as consumers or end users of research. Research enables teachers to come up with informed decisions on what to teach and how to teach. This involves decisions related to educational policies, curriculum, effective teaching learning process, and even those involving research too. It can help us, the teachers, to be more knowledgeable about how to fit our teaching with the development levels of our learners. Teacher as researchers. The conduct of research does not only belong to thesis and dissertation writers. It is for students and teachers too. The scientific method. Ask a question, do background research, form a hypothesis, test your hypothesis via experiment, analyze the data, and draw conclusion. Accept, reject, or refine your hypothesis. One important principle of research is adherence to the scientific method, since research is a systematic and has a logical process.
Research design that are done high level of quality and integrity that provides us with valuable information and adolescent development. There have any types of research design. First is case study, an in-depth at an individual. It provides information about an individual's fears, fantasies, traumatic experiences, upbringing, family relationship, health, and anything that helps a psychological understand the person development. Second is correlation study, a research design that determines association. It is useful because the more strongly events are corrected, the more we can predict one from the others. The next is experimental. Determines cause and effect relationships. The only true variables methods of establishing cause and effect. Experimental research is limited for what is observable, testable, and manipulable. Next is the naturalistic observation. It focuses on children's experience not in the natural settings. One of the advantages of these types of research is that it allows the research to directly observable the subject in the natural settings. The disadvantages of naturalistic observation include the fact that it can be difficult to determine the exact cause of an behaviors, and the experimenter cannot outside variables. Next is longitudinal research. This research design studies and follows through a single group over a period of time. The same individuals. This studies and follows through a single group over a period of time. The same individuals are studied over a period of time, usually several years or more. The next is cross-sectional individuals of different ages and compared of one time. It is allowed them to record and monitor developmental trends, or researcher does not have to wait for the individual to grow up to become older. The next is sequential, combine cross-sectional and longitudinal approaches to learn about lifespan development. It is allowed them to record and monitor developmental trends. It is provide longitudinal approach as alone. Next is action research. Action research is a reflective process of progressive problem solving led by individuals working with others in teams or as part of an community of practice to improve the way they address issues and solve problems.
Data gathering techniques. The observation method of data collection involves saying people in a certain setting or place at a specific time and day. Researchers study the behavior of the individuals or surrounding in which they are analyzing. This can be controlled, spontaneous, or participant-based research. Observation is a way of gathering data by watching behavior, event, or noting physical characteristic in their natural setting. Through observation, you can monitor or watch a process or a situation that you are evaluating as it. Psychological tests, also known as mental measurements, psychological instrument, psychometric tests, inventories, and reading skills, are a standardized measure of a particular psychological variable, such as personality, intelligence, or emotional functioning. Many variables studied by psychologists are straightforward and simple to measure. These include sex, age, height, weight, and birth order. You can often tell whether someone is male or female just by looking. You can ask people how old they are and be reasonably sure that they know and will tell you. A standardized test is any form of test that requires all test takers to answer the same questions, or a selection of questions from common bank of questions, and that is scored in a standard or consistent manner, which makes it possible to compare the relative performance of individuals. This digest addresses two ways that classroom teachers can use the results of a standardized test. First, to revise instruction of interclasses or courses. Second, to develop specific intervention strategies for individual students. The SAT is a standardized test used for college admissions, which allows college administrators to compare the abilities of incoming students. Data collection is a process of gathering and measuring information on variables of interest in an established, systematic way that enables one to answer queries, stated research questions, test hypotheses, and evaluate outcome decision making. Methods of data collection. Interviews. Direct method of inquiry, face-to-face, phone interviews, online interviews, and focus group discussion. Questionnaires. Accurate answer to question by using online form, mail services, which responded fills in himself or handed personally. Life history interviewing is a qualitative method of data collection where people are asked to document their life over a period of time. Each life history was conducted by a peer of researcher, one interviewing and the other recording both manually and electronically.
Ethical principles. Ethical principles provide a generalized framework within which particular ethical dilemmas may be analyzed. Ethical principles are part of a normative theory nga nag-defend ang moral rules or moral judgment, duty to respect, and nag-promote siya og individuals' choices for themselves in achieving on what they believe. Details of these ethical principles are found in the documents. Number 1, Ethical Standards of the American Educational Research Association. Kani siya nga standard is nag-remind siya sa ato ang involved ta dili lang kay sa research pati na sab sa education, and concerned with improving the education process by encouraging scholar nga related gihapon sa education. Number 2, ethical standards for research with Children's Society for Research in Child Development. 3. Standards of the American Psychological Association concerning research. Impact of teachers' research involvement on teacher. Number 1. Teachers who have been involved in research may become more reflective, more critical and analytical in their teaching, and more open and committed to professional development. Uha and Pine, 1989, Harrison, 1996, Keyes, 2000, Duras, 2007. 2. Participating in teacher research also helps teachers become more deliberate in their decision-making and actions in the classroom. 3. Teachers' research develops the professional disposition of lifelong learner, reflective and mindful teaching, and self-transformation. Miles 2000, Stranger 2007. Number 4, engaging in teaching research at any level may lead to rethinking and reconstructing what it means to be a teacher or educator, and consequently the way teachers relate to children and students. And lastly, number 5, teacher research has the potential to demonstrate to teachers and prospective teachers that learning to teach is inherently connected to learning to inquire. Borku et al. 2007.